Welcome to Pathway to Faith Enrichment, brought to you by the pastor and church family of Sanctuary of Praise, Mary and St. George's. The Sanctuary of Praise is a member church of the Pentecostal Assemblies of the West Indies. Our pastor, Reverend Philip Chase, will be sharing a word that is divinely inspired and relevant for all times. We do extend a warm invitation to you as you join us in this telecast for Sanctuary of Praise.
Today I want to share with you a message entitled The Cost. The Cost. Colossians chapter 2 verse 1 to 2. For I would that ye knew what great conflict I have for you, and for them at Laodicea, and for as many as have not seen my face in the flesh, that their hearts might be comforted, be knit together in love, and unto all riches of the full assurance of understanding, to the acknowledgement of the mystery of God, and of the mystery of the Father and of Christ, I wish you knew what great conflict I have for you. That you may have comfort, live safely, and live a full life in Christ. Would to God you knew what has it cost you for following Jesus. What price are you paying for building His church? What price are you paying? What cost can you share with all and sundry for following God and building His church? It should not be too difficult to list the answers to those questions. It is obvious. They are at our fingertips. And they roll out effortlessly. We don't have to think how much it costs us, because we are paying the price. We don't have to scratch our head and turn to papers and files to see the figures that are written and have been stored in your archives, your ledgers, balance sheets. You are immersed in it so much that you can quote from your mind and call from your heart the significant sums you have spent to build God's church, secure God's church, protect God's children, defend God's people. You should not be thinking. It should just come out of your lips to list. What you have spent. There is a price. There are running costs. Not once in a lifetime. And once when you remember. There is a current expenditure that you are writing out spiritual checks on every day, or cashing out notes on every day. This shall be the cost for today. That should be on your lips, at the forefront of memory, to just produce the current cost and running expenses in preserving God's church and building his kingdom. Colossians 2:1. Paul wrote, "For I would that he knew what great conflict I have for you." Not for him. Not his family. You. The church at Colossae and Laodicea. And for them at Laodicea, and for as many as have not seen my face worldwide, Church of Jesus. The Colossian saints had no idea. Is what Paul is saying in his message. You don't have an idea of the price I, Paul, I am paying for you. You don't even have an idea. You don't even have a clue of what it is costing me for you. They had no idea Paul was paying for the spiritual education, protection, preservation, enlightenment, comfort, and safety. All these are borne out in the verses we have read. Why is he doing what he is doing? And for who? And unto whom? For I would that you knew. I wish you knew. I wish you knew. The cause was great conflict. The cost was great conflict. Let's examine the words great and conflict. The word great in the Greek simply means pig. Pig. And the word conflict means combat. The word conflict means combat. The church is not a battlefield, but the church stands on a battlefield. The church is not a battlefield, but the church stands on a battlefield. And the fight is not small. Neither is the fight easy. Neither is the battle short. I wish you knew. And the word pig, we can say, can also be the word large. And we can say huge. And we can say gigantic. We can say awesome. Too small for the ordinary man to sustain and to engage with. Okay, it's too big for them. Too large for the members of the church. Too big for the members of the church. Too severe for the rank and file members of the church. Great conflict is great war. Great conflict is great war. Great conflict is great combat. Courage, discipline, skills, endurance, quick thinking, wise thinking. Always standing on your feet, night and day, day and night, watching to the left, to the right, to the front, behind, beneath, above, watching, for there will be an occasion set as a camp pitch for battle against you. You'll find that in 1 John 2, 10 and 11. Verse 8, read it. An occasion is the pitching of a camp for combat. Who missed Bible study, you missed that. What the word occasion in Greek means. The pitching of a camp for combat is the first step in launching an attack on you or on the church. It is that an occasion, which means pitching of a camp to fight you. And stumbling in the Greek means a trap is set for you with a mechanism that has the bait. And that mechanism in the trap set for you. I will not go into that this morning. Whet your appetite with that. The trap is set for you. Great conflict is great war. That is what it means. And the combat is against spiritual forces as well as human enemies. That's what you are fighting against. Spiritual forces and human enemies. This conflict or war is not an inner conflict in yourself, with yourself. It is an external conflict. It's not you wrestling with your own self. No. This combat here is external. The conflict was for Laodicea and Colossae. They were not internal states in Paul's life and spirit. He was fighting for Laodicea. And he was fighting for Colossae and the Colossian church. It was a conflict for the people of God, not for himself. It was not for himself. He was fighting a battle for the people of God. The Laodiceans and the Colossians. He's fighting for them. A conflict for the people of God and the property or territory of God. Two things. People and property. People and territory. You call it territorial warfare. You can call all of these spiritual warfare. You're fighting for people and you're fighting for territory. And he said, for I would that you knew. But they did not know. They were enjoying dynamic services. Paul, being apostolic and heavenly anointed, speaking authoritatively and acting in power and authority, and things were happening and they were enjoying the excellency of the ministry of Paul to a degree. That's all what they were seeing. Eloquence, they were hearing. Miracles, healing, signs, and wonders, they were seeing. But they were not seeing the great warfare behind the scene. Apostles, prophets, pastors, teachers have no choice but to fight for the people of God and the property of God. Pastors, apostles, prophets, evangelists, to whom the charge is given for the care of the flock, must fight for the people of God and the property and territory of God. They must not should. Not should. Not if I choose to. They have no choice. None. And if they have to stand alone, stand alone. But they are never alone. For the host of the angelic armies of God in heaven are with them and are for them. Fight, Paul! Fight! Steady your hand! Wheel on your heels! Manage your spears and dagger, sword and javelin and spears. It is combat. It is war. It is a fight. Pastors have no choice but to go to war. When the battle comes to his gate, and the battle is joined, pastors have no choice but to fight. And so as to fight well, they do not entangle themselves. Hands are free. Feet are free. They must man over. Must cover the flanks. Church is not a battlefield. Church is not a battleground. But the church is on a battlefield, and as such is on a battle footing, and as such is on a war footing. They fight for God and what is God's. By this I mean what belongs to God. The people of God belong to God, and the property in which the people of God worship belong to God. They fight for territory and people, people and territory, people and territory, territory and people. They fight for it. Pastors fight. And we fight clean. Fight clean and we cut clean. Fight clean and cut clean. Shaka. Thunder. Wanta. Manta. Shoulda. You should not elect to go up against a man of God. You shouldn't elect to do that. There is an English language when you say, I had enough. Enough is enough. When declared in a spiritual battle joint, you are dead. It meant your grace ran out. Your time ran out. You had enough time to repent and stop and line up with God and serve Him. Your time ran out. The question still stands. What price and prices are you paying to preserve the testimony of the church and its work of grace? What price are you paying for? preserving the testimony of Christ and the work of grace in the church. What price you paying for it? What price? The price you have to pay for it. I'm not going into the price. I will not do justice to treat the price. It is too long. But I want your mind to be stuck with a frame of contextual, textual exposition. I wish you knew what great conflict I had for you. That's where I want to stick and stay. That you may know these men of God are fighting. And some have fought to their death. What price? Prices, costs are you paying to build God's church, grow His church, preserve the converts, preserve the Christians, tell them walk by faith, not by sight. Take not your eyes away from God. Take your eyes from people. Take your eyes from men. Take your eyes from your situation. Take your eyes from your problems. Look unto Jesus Christ. What price are you paying to stabilize them? Are they under attack? They are not aware. They are under attack. Attacking for your soul and your purse and your property and your resources and your personnel. And so the shepherd, the pastor, he has to fight. Fight for God's people, God's property, God's resources. They have to fight them. Fight those demonic spirits. It is not just demonic spirits you're dealing with, it's human beings. And not just human beings you're dealing with, it's demons also. Combined armed forces of dark resistance against the kingdom of armed forces of light, liberty, and life.
Have a home prepared where the saints.
We are glad that you are able to join us for today's telecast, and we look forward to having you share with us again. If you have no church community, we invite you to consider making Sanctuary of Praise your church family. A warm welcome awaits you. We are located in Marion, St. George's, and our family worship time is 8:45 a.m. every Sunday. Should you be in need of prayer, you can call 443-5214 or 443-2332. Our email is sanctuaryofpraisegrenada@yahoo.com or write to Sanctuary of Praise, Post Office Box 3569, St. George's, Grenada. I am Lawrence Ross for Pathway to Faith Enrichment. Goodbye and God bless you.